Can everybody hear everybody?
Oh yeah. Oh
Everybody
yeah.
hear everybody.
That was the Kool-Aid man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Went to a
You done?
concert last night.
Oh really? You done did it now, huh?
Yeah. Like a real
What
30-year-old.
Yeah, what on earth made you do that?
You know, we went to see Chromeo. I like
Is that
Chromeo.
that's a
You know, we've talked about this.
what type of music? Remind me.
Like funk.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, I
but
got
like
you.
but they're still around. It's not like 70s funk.
Yeah,
They're still touring.
I think I got it.
um it was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. And it's just such a I don't know, man. We used to live there. We used to live there, man. And used to be able to walk. Now it's a $60 Uber each way. 40, 30 minutes in the we're still in this fucking city and it's still $60 and 30 minutes each way.
30-minute Uber will kill the vibe of pretty much anything.
It's especially when it's a school night and
Yeah.
you're on your way home at 11, standing outside with 900 other people
Yeah.
trying to find Ubers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a work. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've gone to. What time did you get in? What time did you get in?
It was about 11:30 we got back.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last time I got in that late. I mean, for work events, like work team building things, sometimes they go late and you kind of have to stick around, but I don't think I've done anything like that in a while. That's tough.
Yeah, feel bad for me. Totally self-inflicted. It's not like I didn't even win these tickets. I bought them with money.
Hey man, you're allowed to complain about your own decisions. I give you permission. Because I do get it, man. I know exactly what you're saying. Like that little. So I'm 13 miles from New York City as the crow flies, which isn't a ton. It's also not a little, but I don't know. I don't have we can't go out in the city anymore.
Mm.
You know?
When you're 13 miles when you're in the away from a downtown area is way different than 13 miles from fucking the North Hills of Pittsburgh to exactly to Neville Island.
To Neville Island. Yeah. Neville Island. I like that. Neville Island's cool.
One of my favorite islands.
Do you remember? Well, maybe you didn't have the same experience. When I was a kid, I remember seeing signs. We would always go to Aliquippa, and so we would pass Neville Island because that's where my grandparents lived. And I was like, "There's an island here. Can we go? Like that sounds awesome. Let's go to the island, guys. What are we doing? No, turn left. Let's go to the island.
There's beaches over there, probably.
Yeah. Did you think
beach volleyball?
Thing? Did you think Neville Island was exotic when you first heard of it?
No, I don't. Yeah. We didn't pass it all the time though, so I didn't get the view of Neville Island.
Yeah, you didn't get just the Neville Island sign, never actually the island.
Yeah.
Just
you know what? I do have some. So you just unlocked something. I think it's interesting, and I think this happened in our lifetime, because the way they used to number exits on interstates in Pennsylvania changed.
Yeah.
When we were maybe in high school, they used to be sequential, right? It used to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever.
And then they did them with the mile marker.
Yeah. And Pittsburgh, you probably know this one. Pittsburgh is on the turnpike. It's 57. Heinz 57.
Yeah. I think I did know that. Certainly taken that turnpike many times.
And the exit on 79, it's either Neville Island or Sewickley, or it's both. I think it might actually be both. And Neville Island's where the Penguins practice, right?
Is it really?
Or that's where Mario.
No, Mario.
my parents live just north of Sewickley, so I've made that drive. And whatever. Let's just say it's Sewickley. Mario lives in Sewickley, and Sewickley's exit is 66.
So that's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what Neville Island is because I feel like I've been there and many times. Yeah, I don't know. I forget. Yeah, Island Sports Complex. You're right. That is Neville Island. That's where they.
Oh man, check this shit out. Look at this website. Look at this fucking website. This place is amazing. The Interstate 79 exit guide.
Whoa.
I know. 0.
Holy shit. Who
designed you're making this is amazing actually. This is really good design.
I gotta get like I gotta get my arms around what they're trying to do first. So they're trying to map northbound, southbound read down.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, this is south
and southbound read up. That's fucking crazy.
Wait, what? Oh, read down and read up.
Is meant to be read either up or down, depending on if you're going up north or south down. That's great.
Let's dig into this. Oh, it's by county too.
Yeah, this is you.
All right.
Yeah, you gotta really understand these charts before you go in.
All right, so we're gonna go. Let's go northbound. So we'll read down.
Northbound. Yep.
I think we can both agree that we need to read down.
Need to know is that the speed limit is 70 miles an hour.
See, right off the rip, 70 miles an hour, mile 0, which is I like the way they do that. And then we go Mount Morris,
0 miles.
We're in Washington County here. I don't know a ton. Look at this rest area sign though. That's a fucking sick sign.
That really is. Look at.
They got telephones. I guess that's Wi-Fi.
And I love like iconography. I love like symbols for shit. I think that's just, I could stare at that sign all day. The picnic table one especially grabs my attention. I think that's great.
Does this mean that their picnic tables are padded?
I think so. Yeah. It means they have padded seats. Okay. Or maybe it means bring your own pad because, it's wood. They use.
Well, I would think if it's bring your own
poplar.
Let's think about this. If it's bring your own pad, it's probably you wouldn't have the pads already on the icon. That would be confusing because then you'd have to go back to your car and get the pad.
Well, no,
bring it back to
saying it's letting you know by looking at the sign that you're going to need a pad.
No, it's not. It's saying there's a pad already sitting there on the seat.
I could see it both ways. I could absolutely see it both ways. I'm just
saying I do not see it your way. I do not see it your way. Your way is wrong. That is a seat with a pad already on it.
I know, dude.
Doing the bits. All right, you got a way station. Mile 5's it's a happening mile. There's a lot going on in 5 mile and mile 5.
Okay, so keep in mind that the third column over is just other features. So that's we have to start all the way back at the beginning.
Okay, all right, let's start over. 70 miles an hour, nothing. Mount Morris. The exit is 35. I like that they post the exit speed limits.
This is good, man. This is great.
I hope someone watches this and is like taking notes. It's like, shit, I do have to drive northbound on I-79, so I better get my notepad out. These guys are doing the research for me. And so I guess this is what's at the exit, right?
Yeah.
Food, gas,
or things that are,
diesel,
off the exit.
Camping.
Not necessarily a rest area, just maybe it's a KOA.
It's definitely a KOA. What do you think KOA is letting another rival campground move in on their territory in Washington County?
Dude, that's a funny premise. The KOA muscle that needs to keep their campground territory, the turf.
Yeah. So the Greene County Coal Miners Memorial I feel like that's something we should know about, but it probably happened before our lifetime.
Yeah. Maybe it was, I don't know. I've heard, wasn't there a story of I know not the Chilean miners, but wasn't there a miners being trapped in PA story when we were young?
We're about to find out.
This is probably just a memorial to coal mining in general. Well, what are those guys doing?
They're mining. What do you mean?
Oh God, what a life! What a life! Look at these poor souls, man. This is what they did for a living. They sat on a slab underground with sooty faces and just jackhammered, like the equivalent now of a 12-volt cordless drill into a wall until it broke open. Sucks.
Yeah, a lot of, and you can see all the safety that keeps it from collapsing in on them.
That's right. That's right. There's like a 1 in 5 chance they ended their life suffocating under a pile of coal that they collapsed on top of themselves.
All right. Well, I think I don't know if there was a disaster. We can assume that there was probably lives lost on the job. And so therefore the Greene County Coal Miners Memorial is,
we salute you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a way station, also Mile 5, Kirby Garrard's Fort. Garrard's Fort Kirby. If you're wait a second, if you're coming from the southbound, I don't understand. Oh, those are the exits. Okay. It's not one word.
Wait, what?
So this is interesting. I do think highway signage in general is very fascinating because it means different things. I think we talked about this.
Do you know what font they use on all road signs?
Is that a Helvetica?
Yes, it is. Nicely done.
Yeah, thank you. You know how you can tell Helvetica from all the other fonts. No serifs.
Yeah, no serifs. They don't play with serifs. They don't want that flair. Okay. I get it.
All right. So depending on which direction you're driving,
about it the way that you read it, but yeah.
Kirby Garrard's Fort. It's like some guy's named Kirby Garrard, and you're passing his fort. It is interesting that it's 40 miles an hour each way. Okay, that makes sense.
No, it's just the exit. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah. But I was thinking, so Masontown, Waynesburg. They obviously didn't. They had to shoehorn that exit in. You can only go 25 miles an hour when you get there.
Yeah, this one doesn't matter which way you're coming, north or south. It's the same. You're reading it the same.
Also, Greene County. Oh, we are in Greene County. Okay, that makes sense. I thought we jumped right into Washington County. Greene County. Greene County is basically West Virginia. Is what I'm, taking.
Yeah, I think it says that at the top of the thing.
Right.
State of West Virginia. Yeah.
So this is the first. Greene County is the first county, and then you come into Washington County. Back up to 70. Rough Creek, Jefferson. Okay.
But rough spelled R-U-F-F. I like that. Like Rough
Creek,
Riders.
Yeah. Rough Creek, Jefferson is a great 1984 rap name.
Yeah, rough or like a 1977 soul, like the Brothers Johnson.
It's my new band name, by the way. I don't know. I just decided that my new band name is going to be called Rough Creek Jefferson.
I like that a lot.
Bonus points. It's tough to say, which is great.
Rough Creek Jefferson. Yeah, it's real tough to say. It sounds kind of like a Civil War Confederate general. We follow Rough Creek Jefferson anywhere.
Right. That's exactly what you would think when you listen to electronic music. Rough Creek Jefferson, Civil War.
Say that 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I can't.
Rough Creek Jefferson, Rough Creek Jefferson, Rough Creek Jefferson. It's doable, but it wasn't easy. I struggled through it.
Okay, hold on here. So we cross over to Washington County.
Okay, we're only at the beginning. We're 4 miles in.
4 miles in, and then all of a sudden, slow moving vehicles.
Interesting, but only on 1 mile.
It says that, and then there's no end slow moving vehicles, so it could possibly be for the rest of I-79. that they're talking that you may encounter slow moving vehicles.
I mean, it is well known that once you get near Route 19 in Amity, you're in a metropolis. Things are going to get a little busier. Traffic's going to get a little thicker. The stakes are a little higher.
So where is that exit? Is that something that we would have ever used? I don't think so. I think this is still pretty far. No, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
that's south. That's pretty far south, right?
This is borderlands.
Let's pull up Google Maps so we can borderlands.
It's the borderlands between Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
Come on, get out of here. Let's try to not.
Town.
Yeah. What do I want to do? Greene County.
Tuckahoe, such a cool name. It's fun to say. It's fun to look at.
Okay, here we go. 79. So you're passing Waynesburg, and then this is the county line. So
you're in the south here?
Yep. No, this is Waynesburg. This is what I'm referencing where we are.
It's a little fuzzy. I gotta wait for it to like render. There we go. Log cabin fence. Okay. Yep. We're in business.
So it doesn't say unfortunately doesn't have the exits, but I think we can figure it out.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Is that
10 mile road? Okay. Well, that's 7 miles in. We're at Marion and Prosperity, maybe. Where are those places?
I like this game.
Let's start at the beginning. Let's go back to West Virginia.
That's why I'm surprised. Why didn't you just go to the border?
I don't, because it's 7:30 in the morning and I was at a concert last night, Josh. That's why. All right. I'm not yet firing on all cylinders. You ever even the most fine-tuned jet fighters need time to warm up their engines.
So you're comparing yourself to a fine-tuned jet fighter.
Look at me. What do you think?
You look like a, and I like the term fine-tuned jet fighter. I like that. Not a fighter jet, but a jet fighter. It sounds a lot more intimidating.
It's a guy who fights jets.
Punches them in the face.
All right, Mount Morris. Boom. There it is. This is exit number 1 right here. What a bitch ass exit. Those not even a clover leaf, not even half clover leaf. It's just straight roads because there's no one. How many people do you think live in Mount Morris? Maxon lives there.
We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 by 5 SimCity grid.
The cemetery is almost as big as the town itself.
I should tell you something.
Zoom in.
What do we got here? Where do they go? What do they do?
Belco
go to another
Foods.
beauty. Go to another beauty shop. I'm very curious to see what that's all about.
Right here.
Yeah, can we read some reviews?
4.5. That's it.
That's pretty high, man. Look at this place.
Dude, this place looks like where my grandparents. This looks like Latrobe. Youngstown, PA. Yeah.
It does not look like a thriving town.
No, it does not. But let's see what the thriving business of another beauty shop. Uh-oh. 1 star.
Atmosphere.
Here we go. Annie and Nicole are great. Such a laid back. They really care about their clients. How they're crying. Okay. Love Annie. Does wonderful job, but it got to be too much for me to pay. She's a wonderful person. Okay. That's not her fault.
I'm sorry. It got to be too much for me to. Oh, so yeah, maybe her financial circumstances changed, and Donna Smead is going to leave a 1-star review because she can't afford to shop there anymore.
The only review. No photos.
I mean, these people all know each other.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
I was thinking about that just recently. Can you imagine living in a place?
Oh, it's a hairdresser.
Yeah, what did you think it was?
I thought it was a clothing store.
What? Get the fuck out of here! Clothing store, beauty shop.
Spelled shop like a shop. Shoppy.
No, that means it's not a shop.
It's not what that means.
Okay.
Hold on.
Here's
we've got Susan Lovely Beauty Salon. I wonder.
Oh yeah, what's their rating? 5.
Oh, yeah, they're just getting started. Boy, that
from John McDaniel. That's someone's. That's Susan's husband. Yeah.
Susan McDaniel and John McDaniel. 5 years ago, he left at 5. I don't know how to write nothing. I'm just gonna hit the stars. You're getting 5. Keep talking. You're gonna get 4. Now it's at 3. Thank you.
Yeah. So I wonder which one was first, right? Because this one's called Another Beauty Shot. It's the name of the business. Another Beauty Shot.
Yeah.
Do they have 3 in this place? They don't have much. Usually the businesses will pop up. These are houses.
Yep. You got a citizen center.
I mean, what it makes it's obvious that this was clearly like a coal mining little town where people used to live, where they used, while they weren't in the mine.
It was probably like, it started like a tent city, right? It was never intended to be
every city started as a tent city.
Yeah, but this one looks like it stayed as a tent city for a long time.
I'm telling you, it looks exactly. You go to Street View. Pizza place. You go to the Street View, and it's yeah. I got a great slogan though. I got my pizza belly from Sorbillos.
I do like that. How much are they charging for a pie?
Sorellas. Let's find out. They don't have, none of these places have websites, which is great.
Well, you just had it up. The menu it's right down there.
Oh, I had the picture. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Chicken wings, $1 a piece, respectable. Unless you get 30, and then you get a big discount. I mean, these are not as low as prices as I thought they would be.
Well, where's the pizza?
$7.50.
Dude, double cheeseburger for $5.50. That's pretty fucking cheap. I mean, I don't know what that double cheeseburger looks like, but $5.50 for a double cheeseburger from anywhere other than McDonald's. That might be more than what it costs at McDonald's. McDonald's is like $1, right?
It's not much, but not $1.
Grilled chicken sandwich, $4.50. Grilled. You can go in there for grilled. You can spend $10 in there and be full. Get a grilled cheese, French fries. Now you're up to $5.50.
10 wings.
What do you This is the least expensive place on the planet.
It's a good point.
10 wings.
I guess that the buffalo chicken sandwich was the first thing I looked at, and I was expecting it to be like $2.50, but I guess no one's doing that anymore. They still got to make money.
Do they have? This is what it looks like.
Dude, it's why does every building in this town looks like it's falling down? This one actually looks pretty good.
That looks good.
Yeah,
I like that. Good. It's ADA accessible. They came up to compliance.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what. So here's how you can always tell that it's a true small town. When you count the number of churches.
Yeah, I saw a couple. There's the Methodist church, and I think there's another one more in the center of town. Oh no, there it is, Gospel Tabernacle.
Yep. Auto sales and towing.
It's an auto sales place. Never mind.
It's not an auto sale place. It's an auto sale and towing place. Which I think is important. Oh, they actually have a website. Let's check this out. 132 Buchanan Street, P.O. Box 473 on the next line. I like that. That's
this business is just finding a cheap office along 79 that they can easily get on and off of and get their 2 crashes first. That's the plan here.
Yep. These are the types of places though that if I was like, man, I really need something done to my car, if I could go in there. I'm going there.
100%. Not to mention, like, I bet you the owner of this business makes some good money. If he hustles,
yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, you can make money doing this.
I can see it. I'm telling you, my grandfather had an auto body shop in Latrobe, and like his office was just like wood paneling. It was small. Awesome. It was the garage, but then there was this corner of the garage that was walled off, right? Yeah. Had a big glass window and a door. And
cool.
There was no computer in there. It was just a desk covered with stuff and like receipts and those like carbon copy paper, and that was how. That's what this is, for sure.
Checkbook. Yeah, 100%.
And a
And like
pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, pack of cigarettes. It's not a bad life.
It's certainly different. I was just saying this. Moving to a place like that where it's like high school, right? You know everybody. You know everybody's name. You may not be friendly with everybody, or not that you're unfriendly to people, but you know every single person.
Yeah.
That would be I can't imagine going back to that kind of life.
It's so funny you say this, because I was thinking about this the other day. Because of everything that's going on in the world right now and how complex everything is, how complex politics are and people are, and the internet brings us all together, and you end up having conversations with people that you're never going to really have a real conversation with. Living in a small town like that simplifies a lot of things. Like, think about if we had to start over and we were in those tent cities. There would be a person who was good at driving the tow truck, and that would be how he ended up providing value to the society. There'd be another person who's good at this, another person who's good at that. Clear lanes, clear roles. Everyone knows each other. You know what you're dealing with. I think it's much easier to live a life like that.
Yeah, but I bet it doesn't last like that. It might start like that, like, hey, you're good at this, and like, I don't want to fucking do that.
Right.
It's like, you know,
that's a different like that. That's going to happen no matter what. But people can change. Right. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you can see everything in front of you. You don't have to rely on making a donation to a political action committee to have your voice heard. You can just go speak to whomever's making decisions directly.
I gotcha.
And you'll have a reputation with them, and they'll have a reputation with you. I think that like would make me feel, I don't know, maybe a little bit more in control. But it would be dull. It would be, it wouldn't be exciting. It wouldn't be city life. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, like, what am I getting for city life? Like, I don't even want to go into the city today. I won't go into the city today because of all the buzz and chatter around, protests. And so am I winning by living here, by not seeing the same people every day? Is that a win? And I actually don't know the answer or how I feel, but I've been thinking about it lately.
Well, yeah, that was
life might be a better life.
I mean, there's obviously ups and downs. When we were walking around in our old neighborhood last night, I was talking to my friend. I'm like, man, I remember like just being able to come out the front door of our condo building and just you hit the sidewalk and you're a fucking number. There's nothing unique about you.
You're anonymous.
You can do whatever you want. Yes, you can look however you want. Chances are you will never see any of these people again.
Right.
Because it was a busy part of the city. It wasn't just like, again, it's totally different where we are now.
Not everyone there lived there.
Yeah.
Most people were just passing through.
I walk to work, and when I come home from work and literally walk the 3/4 of one block on my street, I usually see somebody outside who I know their first name.
Where you live now, you're saying?
Where I live now.
And do you find a sense of comfort from that?
No, it was like I didn't like it at first, to be honest.
It made you anxious because you didn't want to be recognized.
Yeah, I just wanted
I get it, man. I've had a rule at every place I've lived to not get to know my neighbors. In apartment living, it's different, right? Like apartment living, I'm coming home from work, I'm putting my keys in the door. Like, I do not want to engage.
No.
Like, I do not want to engage.
And you don't like talking in the hallways loud. Yeah. Right? No one, you don't want anyone outside your door talking in the hallway.
That's exactly right. So I never did that, but now it's different. Now I'm like very eager to be a part of a community for safety. And I don't know, like during those years that I was being a dick to my neighbors, like what if something happened and God forbid, And then they were like, what kind of guy is he? Oh, he's an asshole. He never talks to anybody. Like that stuff matters, right?
Yeah.
And the anonymous nature of what, of what you were saying also matters, because if again you need support for whatever reason, no one knows, like there's no community there around you. Whereas in a small town, God forbid something happens to a family, like typically those small towns all pitch in and help as long as those people aren't assholes. And even if they
Yeah.
are assholes sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, every time a tornado hits in the
something like
springtime,
that.
you can tell that it's just like we're all gonna fucking fix this.
This is the farthest down my cup of coffee I've ever been at 8:02. So
Yeah.
get
I was
ready.
too tired. That's how tired I was this morning. I didn't even make coffee.
I can tell you. You've got a good energy though. I like your energy today.
Yeah, coffee's bad for me, apparently.
Yeah.
Stop drinking it.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you stop drinking coffee? Can you?
sure. I've gone through phases where I don't drink it. Yeah. I might. I drink a couple cups a day. That's it. So and I don't have caffeine after that at all, unless it's in like chocolate or something.
Right.
So I'm not addicted to caffeine. I could probably
Probably maybe just have some headaches or something for a couple days.
Yeah, maybe. I don't even know if that's what it's from. I'll tell you one thing. I have this year, when I play golf, I walk. And I push my clubs.
Dude.
I have a push cart.
I
love it.
Samesies. It's the best.
This year, I've played golf on a few, like maybe 3 days where it's been super humid and hot. And I walk to work. Like I walk, I'm not trying to say I'm
Brag
the
about
picture
how
of
far
health.
you can walk.
First of all, I can walk until I die of something else. Like I can walk myself to death.
Yeah.
I can walk forever today. Like I can walk a marathon.
Dude, when I first moved into the city, I was averaging over the period of like 18 months. I think I was averaging something like 22,000 steps a day.
Wow.
Which is like 10 miles. It was sometimes I go back through my activity app and just, because the Apple Watch tracks every step. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. What? I lost like 15 pounds right away.
Well, yeah, and part of that was because you were ill, right?
No, then I lost another 20 pounds because of that. But yeah, before that, I was, just like a little less chubby. I didn't start wasting away. But the part of what propelled me to walk so far was because I was ill. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's
it's a performance enhancer.
It's a performance enhancer. Dude, they tested my testosterone. Did I tell you I'm taking the juice?
Yeah.
It went from like the high 300s, which is in the low end of the normal range, to 800, which is what it is now.
Yeah. Strong man.
What's interesting is that I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but the first 2 weeks I was taking it, I can't remember if I told you this, but did I say that I was like really short of patience and agitated?
No.
I was, and it's a side effect, I guess, because they called me yesterday and they were like, "Yeah, if you've been having any agitation," I was like, "Yeah, there was a couple weeks where I was ready to like fucking go at a drop of a hat."
Yeah, you're hormonal.
Yeah,
you're male hormonal.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is. So now,
but don't tell me. Yeah, you can walk. Are you walking a lot more? Is that why?
No, but like I do feel pretty fucking good. Like I don't know. I don't know how much that impacts anything, right? If it impacts your energy. But when I work out, like I'm ready. I'm in there.
That's great. Cool. Your performance enhancing drugs, man. They're great.
Well, you got to take advantage of it while I can.
They don't call it performance enhancing for nothing.
I can't wait until I stop taking this shit and then I come crash. Like that's the ride from 400 to 800 is a lot better than from 800 to 400. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Will it stop at 400 is the question. We're going to do a podcast that day, every day of the week. Get you out of bed.
It's down to 150.
Yeah. It's negative. I now have estrogen. Is zero, I mean, does zero the estrogen line? Is it like a testosterone and an estrogen?
No, women have estrogen.
That'd be funny.
Or testosterone. We each have both. I would just be like a puddle on the ground.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. That's it. Walking. What were we talking about?
Talking about walking, man. Walker.
I love it. Okay. So no, here's what we were talking about. I walk a lot. For a normal person, 3 miles a day easily. And I walked, it was hot and humid a couple times this year, and I pushed my clubs, and man, it wiped me out for a day afterwards.
Oh, totally. That's the whole reason I do it. Like, so I golfed every week this summer. Maybe I missed one, which means I was out there a lot of days like that. And I kind of I started looking forward to the feeling of, man, like when I get home and I shower and then I'm like done for the day, I'm going to feel fucking great.
I love that feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about it carried over for another 24 hours. Like I'd wake up with a headache. I was dehydrated. Like I needed to, this is the first year it's happened like that.
Fluids.
It is, hard. Man. I got to figure it out because I can't have that. I'm not going to stop walking or playing golf.
You have to carry 2 bottles with you, and and they would need to have water out on the course in order for you to even come close to keeping up.
Yeah.
That on days like when it's humid and you're just sweating from the first minute you step outside.
Yeah.
It's really hard. You know, the yoga studio that I used to go to when I did hot yoga for 90 minutes, 4 times a week, and lost like I would wring out my towel afterwards into the shower multiple times. They would have that pink Himalayan salt, and you were supposed to put a pinch of it in your water, and I guess that helps. I don't know the science behind it, but I did it, and I don't know if I felt any better, but it kind of had the mental thing.
Well, salt definitely helps. Salt definitely helps.
Yeah, so there you go. Salt your water. Drink some salt water. It'll be good.
Head on down and be like, what do you put in that water at the Muni?
So
just a little pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah, just a little pink Himalayan, just a pinch. I haven't played golf in weeks now because I hurt my back. Did I tell you this?
No. Oh yeah, from lifting weights because you're all roided up.
Yeah, because I'm all juiced up on roids. So like, there was this car parked, and I thought, I bet I could lift that fucking car off the ground. So I just squatted down and I did with one arm, but I hurt my back doing it. Now I was doing deadlifts, and then I took about a week and a half off, and then 2 days ago I lifted for the second time this week, and now I re-injured it. So I can't play golf this weekend either.
Not with that good, attitude.
Man. Have you? So I'll be honest. When I heard it, I was very worried. Shira just had disc problems. My dad had back problems, and I've seen them. They look miserable, and I couldn't walk without shuffling my feet for like a day. Mm-hmm. For that whole day, I thought everything is different now. Life has changed. None of the things I like doing will I ever be able to do again. And then by day 2, like I was
walking, you're like, oh, it's getting better.
Day 3, yeah, I was like, oh, that's a lot better than yesterday.
I just needed to take a nap. I needed to sleep one time.
When you ever roll your ankle over playing basketball?
Not since I played basketball, and it's been 30 years since that happened.
Back when you used to play.
I'm sure, yeah, I can't remember.
And your ankle like blew up and swelled up, and it was like really hard to walk on for a couple of days. It was kind of like the back version of that. So have you ever done that before?
Yeah, dude. But I don't even think of those as injuries anymore.
This one was pretty scary, man. It was the worst, other than a bruised rib, which was the most painful injury I've had. You've had some fucking crazy injuries, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I appreciate your.
I gotta remember who I'm talking to.
I appreciate your.
What's your most painful injury?
let's see. My most painful,
Shoulder?
the only time I've ever pissed myself was when I broke my leg.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah, that's got to be the number one.
when you break your leg in half, and then I tried to put it back in myself and I couldn't, and then I was like, oh shit.
Remind me, you fractured or you broke?
So it's a fracture is a break. It was a spiral fracture. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures.
Yeah, let me see. I want to see how gruesome this is. I want to see details about your gruesome, difficult injury that was probably very hard on you mentally and physically.
Oh yeah, it was.
I hate myself for how into my fantasy football team I am.
All right, let's see if I can find these things. Okay, let's take you along. I gotta be careful here because I got some. All right. So this is. It's hard to see like what's actually going on here. And that's unfortunate.
Oh, wait, this is you?
This is me. This is when it happened.
Go on the internet and look at pictures of like what's up with that guy's shorts. What year was this?
This is 2010.
Oh, I recognize those uniforms. I saw you play a game.
Yeah. So you can kind of tell what's going on here.
Yeah.
But it's this. By the way, this guy quit. He never came back after this.
Because he saw you break your leg.
This day, yeah. Well, not only did he see me, and like I was like, "You have to hold my leg up, dude." Because if I put it on the ground, so when it happened,
it looks like
it was
priceless.
It was farther pointed to the right. Okay, and I tried to like flex my foot, and it got to there, but then it stopped. Like I was like, I know it's dislocated. I want to try to get it back because it fucking hurt, man. And I tried to flex my foot, and it went from 90 degrees to like there, and then that was it. I couldn't move it. It was like caught. So we waited for the ambulance. That's what it looked like after they put it in. So I went into my toes are just that sport destroyed my feet.
Your toes look pretty brutal.
I had recently lost both of these toenails, and they're grown back.
Because of fungus?
No, because I got stepped on, and they fucking
I have a fungal infection in one of my toes that's been there for like a year now, and I have this medicine. I put nail polish medicine on it, and like it's not going away at all. I don't know how I got it, but it's really not good looking.
Does it hurt or does it itch?
No.
Well, then just keep it.
Just looks like hell, and I'm going to lose my toenail. So.
Oh.
Do they grow back?
Well, yeah, you can see it. It takes a while. I mean, it takes like 8 months for a big toenail to grow the full way back in. I got my toenails painted by my niece at the beach 2 years ago.
Yeah, look how much bigger your right foot is than your left.
Yeah. So let me just tell this part of the story. So this is in a hospital, obviously. It took me straight to the hospital. Do not pass go.
Yeah.
Do not collect $200. It didn't break the skin anywhere, but the bone on the so there's two bones in your leg.
I see it.
There's a bone. There's a bone here, right? And then there's a smaller bone on the outside of each of your legs. The bone on the outside of my leg was, I don't have a picture of the x-ray. It was broken in half, but it didn't break in half like this. It broke in half like this, like a cross, like diagonally over the space of like 6 or 8 inches. It's called a spiral fracture.
That's no good, buddy.
And so this is already happening, right? Like this is my foot's still not set, but they put it in. So when they showed up at the field and loaded me into the ambulance, they cut off my shoe. They cut off my shoe by, taking the laces off, and then they pulled it. And when they pulled it, they reset my foot. They relocated. They didn't tell me they were going to do it. They just did it.
That's better.
And
I would prefer it that way.
I agree. But I remember screaming, and I have never screamed in pain like that. And then when I got to the hospital, I smelled piss, and I realized it was me because I was the only one in the room.
It's kind of like if you don't spot the sucker at the first 10 minutes at the poker table, you're the sucker.
And so,
piss, and you're the only one in the room. You pissed yourself.
Last picture.
Oh, that's a good one, man. Album cover.
They put a line in, and the doctor. So I'm in the hospital. I'm in Johns Hopkins, and they don't have a room for me. So I'm just on a gurney in the middle of the emergency room.
Been there, done that.
And so
pre-COVID in New York, I had a chair for 12 hours.
The doctors, he's like, listen, we can't let you, you got to get this fixed. This isn't something that's going to heal. So even if we put you in a cast, it's not going to work. We got to fix this. And we got to do it. We might as well do it tomorrow. Like, you're here, you might as well just get it done. Fine. So I was like, you know what? I live by myself, dude. I don't know what I would have done. Like, there's no chance that I would have made it home and survived.
This is the moment you realized time to get married.
Absolutely not.
Well,
this is the moment I realized I needed to get my leg. I needed to have surgery on my leg. This is that moment. So he's like, so we're gonna do surgery first thing in the morning, but we need to cast your foot tonight because it's already starting to heal. Like, your body immediately starts to heal itself. It doesn't wait. And he's like, we don't want to have it heal itself wrong, so I got to put a cast on. Okay, fine. So he gave me a bunch of shots. He had this huge ass fucking needle, Novocaine, in my ankle, in my leg, and that hurt. And then he walked away for 45 minutes. And he comes back with the cast stuff, and I can feel things again.
Yeah.
He puts my foot. This is the second most pain I've ever felt. He put my foot, the sole of my foot, on his chest, and he leaned forward to kind of flex it. And then he started casting it. That's how he wanted to do it. Dude, I was sweating. I was trying not to scream, but I was grabbing everything I could. And the nurse is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm not okay. How long is this going to take?" It took 5 minutes. Right away, she ran, jogged over to a station, came back with a syringe and put it into my hand. And it didn't mess me up mentally, but it killed the pain. It had to have been morphine. Toradol or what? Morphine. No, it wasn't morphine. It wasn't morphine. No? Morphine messes you up, man. There's no way you can.
Oh, you're saying there was nothing upstairs.
I was clear. I think it was Toradol.
Interesting.
Which is what they give the NFL players, right?
Yeah.
Dude, the guy would move. He would push. He'd flex my foot. It would hurt for a second, and then it would go away completely. It just shut down all the pain. So,
was it a nerve block? No, it was a syringe.
I've had those too. Those are fun.
Yeah,
those are fun. All right,
dude, that's crazy. Yeah. If Toradol can do that,
here.
Imagine. I was just listening to Pat McAfee's show. JJ Watt was on, and he was talking about the crazy injuries that NFL players play through. Oh, how long did the surgery take?
I don't know. I was in the hospital for 2 nights.
2 nights.
And then
and how the hell did you take care of yourself?
My parents are killer, man. They came down.
They came in. That's what I would have done too. I would have found some way to go home.
Yeah, they came. Well, no, they came down for a day. And I shouldn't say that. That's not what happened. But they both came down. They drove. They went before they even came to the hospital. So I was in and out of surgery before I saw my parents. the next morning,
Yeah.
but they had gone to my apartment. I think they got in. I think my landlord lived there, and I think she let them in. And they put like a new shower head in my shower, and they bought me a stool for my shower, which is super. I mean, I used both of those bitches like immediately.
Yeah, right? You need that.
So, and then my dad went home, and my mom stayed with me for a couple days, and then she went back, and I got once I got the crutches were terrible. I couldn't do anything, but once I got that roller aid, I rode around on that scooter for 3 months. Once I got that, I was living by myself, man. I was fucking riding that thing to work, living life. And I'll tell you what, it was kind of shitty at some points, but at the same time, it was like, if I could survive doing this, I mean, I definitely had help, right? You needed people to help set you up, but then I'm like, I got it, man. I can handle this. My sister came back down and she took me back up to get my stitches out. That was this day. This is 2.5 weeks after the surgery.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, all right.
That's crazy, man.
Anyway, that's the story of the most pain I've ever felt.
What an ordeal.
Remember when you rolled your ankle in high school? No, dude.
That's like an unbearable level of pain. Setting your leg without Novocaine?
That was like an intense thing that kept happening. Right? When I broke it, I'm laying there. I had a moment where I was like, all right. Because, man, it took 10 minutes for the fucking ambulance to show up.
Yeah.
And the game had stopped, obviously, because they couldn't move me. And I was just like, man, this sucks. But I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing, though. The pain has happened. Like the injury has happened. It's not getting worse. There's no one else continuing to injure you. It's fine. So relax, because it's not going to get worse. This is it. You can handle this. You're not passed out. You're not bleeding. It did get worse. But for that moment, while I was laying on my back and that guy was holding, I don't remember his name. He was holding my hand. Yeah. He's like, yeah. And so I remember having that and being like, okay, I can deal with physical pain. That's just not an issue for me. Not anymore. That's for sure.
You're a rare breed, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not though. I bet everyone who goes through the same thing has the same story.
No chance. No. People will quickly put themselves in the victim role and feel very comfortable with that, and then milk it and not have the motivation to try to figure out a way to get around on their own. Those are mentally tough.
You think so?
100%.
You think people would not want to do that?
Yes. I think that mental toughness is in very short supply, because in order to gain it, you have to face down realities quickly, reconcile the situation quickly, and then start building a mental plan for how you're going to get through it. That's not a first instinct that comes naturally to most people. I think they have to train it. And then just like anything else, people don't like training themselves on anything. So you have a bunch of mentally weak people. That's why anytime there's breaking news and you go on Twitter, people are losing their goddamn minds. They have no mental discipline. They have no way to process things that are happening.
I think I agree with you, but I also think that there are people, you really need something to happen, and not what you think might be.
To endure.
But like that's universally accepted as like, this is a big deal. Not like, not
your own personal 9/11, but like a real 9/11.
Tragedy. No. You need something personal to happen to you.
No, what I'm saying is significant. Some people say the worst day of my life was when my pet gerbil died. And it's like, well, no, it isn't. Like, you can't, it has to be something that's genuinely difficult to get through, not something that only you think was hard to get through.
If you roll your ankle in a high school basketball practice and now you have to hobble around for a week, that might be the most, at that point, trying thing that's ever happened to you. And then you can like milk it because it's not actually a real thing.
Right.
in the grand scheme of things, it's gonna get worse for you. And so then
every
that
good quality
happens.
I have to the horrible things I've been through.
Oh yeah, that's an absolute. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say all of that. That's not entirely true, right? I'm sure you've.
No, it's an exaggeration, but I mean, I don't think I'd like the person I would have become without adversity.
Oh, sure.
More specific to me, I had a certain perspective on life that needed to be beaten down before I could get honest with myself and start becoming the man that I'm supposed to be. Right. And things like what you just described, they come in many different forms, but that's the recipe.
Yeah.
Suffering and pain. Mike Tomlin is a hysterical man, but one of the things that he says that I really like is like, why are people so obsessed with seeking comfort? What do you learn from comfort? Like if your focus is to always make yourself comfortable, you will be weak and soft. I like that. I think there's something there.
And it definitely applies to like professional football.
Standard is the standard.
Standard is the standard. I mean, at that point, you guys are getting paid to play football.
There's a guy on
complacency is a
YouTube
very easy thing
that does a Mike Tomlin press conference every week, and he only has like 5,000 views per video, but he's dead on. You want to see him? It's pretty good.
Sure.
All right. Let me see what I can scrounge up. I'm gonna look up Mike Tomlin fake press conference.
Here's a picture.
Yeah, here he is. Came right up. Crab-free crab cake, $1.99. Not bad. Whole Foods.
Fuck out of here, Whole Foods.
Let's see if we can find one from Week 5 Ravens.
First of all,
can you hear that?
Let me obviously start off by saying I'm appreciative of the Ravens. I'm appreciative of those guys and putting in those efforts to let us win the game. We earned that. They don't let us do anything. We were down significant players throughout the game, but we did not complain. We did not live in our fears. We got the job done. I'm appreciative of Miles Killebrew blocking that play. When you make a play like that in the NFL, you're going to be around here for a long time. Hopefully we can extend them past this weekend. We made some significant downs. Winning the game was a significant occurrence, being that they are the Ravens and we are atop the division, which is a tough division. We are above 500. We expected that. I expected that. But to be honest with you, there was no expectations coming into the season about where will we be placed after week 5. Lamar's a great player, great athlete. Obviously, we wish we had some better fan support, but I want to be clear when I say this. Nobody's better than our fans. Nobody.
Keeps contradicting himself.
Did he say that? Did he actually say that in
of this game?
I don't know.
And I said, usually, if you've ever been involved in the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl, it's that intense. If
he did say that.
Had a woman and you left your phone unlocked and she went through it and you came back and the phone was locked for 42 days, it's intense like that. Or having the munchies at midnight and not having no food in the house. This is the kind of game you're involved in. I felt like George played great. I felt like George to Kenny is going to be a connection that we're going to keep talking about. No signal failing. We don't have Nextel phones anymore. We have Droids, got rid of the iPhones. So that connection will always be there. There was an occurrence on that touchdown pass where Canada looked like he wasn't smiling or celebrating. I just want to clarify that and clear that up before rumors get out about him not being excited to see George make that play. So let me clear that up by saying we won't get into that. That's a private moment. That's something that's going to be discussed in house. I'm going to ask him why. Maybe he had something else on his mind. Maybe his mind wasn't even on
This
him.
one's
Maybe
not as
that
good as
was
his normal one.
still in the locker room, which would attribute to.
He's good. He's good.
He's got the cadence down, but he's usually a lot funnier.
How about that Steelers game, man? That was a good one.
It was one of the craziest football games I've ever seen, and it was like so much fun to. It's such a fun outcome, but I didn't have fun along the way.
Oh, it was too traumatic for you. So do you have the red zone, or were they showing it? Were they showing it, or?
So since I have YouTube TV, I bought they gave me an early offer, like right when the season ended last year for the Sunday ticket package, and I got it so I can watch the games. So I get like they have a feature where you have your quad box, and I have red zone in one of them, and then like whichever one you highlight is the one where the volume comes through, which is pretty cool. So that's how I usually roll.
Yeah. It's like your own sports bar.
It's like being at Dave and Buster's, man.
Wow. What can I say?
Or like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Football.
Yeah, it was a weird game, dude. I liked I'm so entertained by all this Matt Canada shit. The thing he was talking about there? Mm-hmm. I think he was just upset that he didn't go down in bounds, maybe. That's what he was thinking, because then you run the clock out and kick a field goal to win it.
They were fucking losing.
Yeah, but they were losing by 2. So if he would have gone down in bounds, they could have killed the clock.
That's not what Matt Canada was fucking thinking, dude. There's no if he was, then he can't be. Yeah, that's right.
What I'm saying is he may have said before the play, remember, if you catch it, if we get in field goal range, go down and I don't know.
No.
It's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense.
And that doesn't make sense.
Well, it does. Like the analytics back up that move. I believe you have a higher win percentage because even though you're scoring, which is better because you take the lead. I think that the analytics play would have been to go down in bounds.
Shut up. Shut your fucking face.
These are not my thoughts. This is what I've read.
We're going to find out. We're going to fucking find out.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
You just did.
I love how you can you go to ESPN. Hold on, I'll share it. I typed in NFL scores. I was going to go back to the score and like it has the probability.
No, well, that's not going to tell us anything.
Yeah, it will.
No, it won't. That's not what I'm saying is analytics give you situational analysis. Are your chances of winning higher?
Stop talking.
I don't think
I'm trying to show you that on the NFL scoreboard, the highlight from the Broncos Chiefs game is Taylor Swift takes another Chiefs game. Yeah, I love it. I love that shit, man. I think it's funny.
Me too.
People are getting really upset about it. I'm like, dude, come on.
She's the biggest star.
Oh, she is.
Everything she does is front page news.
I like a good super couple story. Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Travis Kelce, I'm sorry. I'm not into him.
Why? I think he's funny.
I think he's the kind of guy that let me see how I can describe this. If you think he's funny, maybe I'm going to hold back my opinion because I trust your judgment there. But I think he's like the guy that you hang out with that's always checking himself out in the mirror.
I mean, there's to an extent that's like kind of how they all are. But I think he's funny. Like when he hosted Saturday Night Live, I was laughing.
I was impressed.
Out loud.
I was impressed with that.
I thought he was really good. His monologue, like he delivered his monologue really well.
I'm not saying he doesn't have charisma. I'm saying that he misuses it. That's all. And I don't think there's a lot of humility
there.
So you said you didn't like him because if you were hanging out with him, he would be checking himself out all the time.
Yeah,
Guess what?
I don't like him because I don't think I'd want to hang out with him.
Yeah, well,
I think
don't worry about that happening. Okay? Well, I could set your mind at ease here. You and Travis Kelce are never going to hang out, so don't worry about that.
We could become very close.
There's a lot of people that I don't think I'd like personally, but because I'm watching them on TV, I enjoy them for strictly the entertainment that they provide. That's it. Like they are entertainers.
It bothers me that Travis Kelce is widely liked. I don't want him to be. I want it to be my way.
You think Taylor can do better?
I don't know. I think both of them. I think she's a tornado of a. I don't know. She doesn't have a great relationship history, so
that's true, man. She needs motivation. All right. There's got to be a. I know what graph I'm looking for.
It's not going to.
Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Because it didn't happen.
Here it is. This is it. After every play. So you're saying. So the Steelers had a.
You're going to go to the score and see if there was a potential for a higher win probability.
Well, I mean, it's very clear that that's fucking not the case, right? So, boom.
There it is, right there. What's your win percentage? 78.7. So now, how do we know if it's higher?
Can I blow this up? This is really difficult to. Can I see this and like? Can I? I'm trying to find the touchdown.
You just did. It was 78 point something.
So it's 70.3. The Steelers have the ball on that drive.
Yeah, just look at the score because it's 10-8. And then when it goes to 10-14, then.
But I want to move my mouse to specific. There it is. No, this is.
No, it's still 10-8.
It's still 10-8, but they're now on.
3rd and 4. This is the play.
No, they're on the.
Yeah,
this is the play? Okay.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can move.
The play right below it. It says Kenny Pickens passed to George Pickens for 42-yard touchdown.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
It does.
Right there. Look below the chart.
Yeah. Kenny Pickett passed deep left to George Pickens to BLT 42. Baltimore 42. That's not the touchdown.
I'm sorry. It's a little fuzzy. I just saw the Kenny
Pickett. All right. Let me. Maybe this will help actually if I can do this.
There we go. That's what we need.
Now what
Scroll up a little more.
Yeah. Here we go. All right. Now I can actually get into this. So, okay, they were.
I got you.
After that pass, 53.5, but then it went back down because 2-minute warning. Still in the 42, still out of field goal range, right? So 58.5.
So at this point, the Steelers are likely to lose. Yeah, isn't that what I just said? 78 point something? 78.7.
58.5. But it doesn't show this the Pickens touchdown. Like the next play is Lamar Jackson pass deep.
It doesn't matter because what you're trying to determine is if they scored, which they did, what did that do to their win probability? Because I'm saying that Canada thought it hurt it, right? So it went from a likelihood of them losing to a 78% chance that they win. But that doesn't you don't yet know what the win percentage would have done if he had gone down in bounds.
Well, yeah, you can't calculate that.
You can, and they do, and they have. And I think what they're saying is that it's higher than whatever it was when he scored. Dude, I get it. I had the same reaction. My first reaction was like, how is it possible that scoring a touchdown when you're losing is a worse play than waiting to the last second and then potentially missing the field goal and losing the game? But the analytics
every year
that's the case.
There are, I think you have to always take points when they kick field goals.
I agree 100%.
When they kick field goals, the only thing he could have done that would have made maybe sense is have him like run around before he ran it. But he was getting chased. There wasn't like an opportunity to waste time. People, when they kick field goals in the NFL, points are so hard to get in the NFL. And a field goal is not a given.
No, it's not a given. No,
so
but Boswell's
give in.
I think the thought was that it was an easy enough field goal, and you could have, and then at that point, I think
I think what the analytics is saying is that giving the other team the ball back creates more risk, even with a 4-point lead versus a
I understand.
deficit. Yeah.
I understand. How many timeouts did Baltimore have at that point? Do we know?
I think all of them.
Okay. So
maybe 2.
you're kneeling the ball down. You're then going to kick. Okay, let's say they had 2. And there was what, a minute 17 left?
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe a minute 20.
That was a weird thing too, because they got a penalty.
Yeah.
That saved like 30 something seconds of time or whatever, full play clock worth of time.
That's because when they did get the ball back, they tried to just take knees. And they got a false start penalty or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, like an illegal motion or formation. Those are always fun. Illegal formation penalties are always fun to.
That game when it looked like they were going in, and then Joey Porter Jr. made that interception. That's like one of the biggest turns of events. Like what a huge play. That's
what I'm telling you, man. Again, think about George Pickens not getting it, like purposely not getting into the end zone. And then you try to kick a field goal and the bad snap happens or whatever. Sure. It's like, dude,
or another false start and it pushes you back. And then, time runs out. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I understand what you're saying about a team is likely of, I don't know what the percentage are, but like if they're going to score, it's going to be 95% of the time when they have the ball.
Right.
Right. That's what you're saying. And so if you just don't give them the ball, they can't score. But
you control
at the point, look, if they were up 14-10 at that point when he caught that pass, go down in bounds.
That's a no-brainer, right?
Right.
But
when you're losing
into the end zone, and you're losing, right? Like you can walk into the end zone to take the lead. It is crazy to think that wouldn't be the best play. But I promise you that they've got so much. Actually, the Steelers aren't very big on analytics, from what I understand, but. I'm sure that there was something in front of Canada that made it's the only thing that makes sense. Why else do you think he didn't get excited? Because Kenny.
Well, so I think does he ever get excited? Like, do they have video of him showing when he gets touchdown? When we get touchdowns,
gives like a fist bump or a fist pump. He's excited.
Maybe he's just exhausted, man. The guys. Maybe it's just like that. It's like the human element of that where
could be.
He's been listening to him chants of fire his name. That'd be weird, man. You're sitting in the press box at Penguin.
Did you hear that? They started chanting it at the Penguins game. Fire Canada.
Like right. So
imagine he just decided,
Canada.
Like, you know what? I'm sick of football. I'm just going to go to a hockey game and forget about all this for a second.
Was he there? Is that why?
No, I don't think so. But it would be hysterical if he were.
That's like borderline. Let the guy fucking live his life, man.
Dude, this is all beyond. Like we crossed that line a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
People in Pittsburgh, like you can't go anywhere. And not only that, I don't even know if it's his fault. I don't know if he's a good offense.
We've talked about that. We don't know.
Can you say that? Yeah, you don't know, right? We don't fucking know. I have no idea. When I play Madden, I have Madden pick the plays for me, and I just shuffle through whatever formation they put me in. Do you do that too when you play Madden? Do you pick plays, or do you have Madden give you a suggestion first?
It's been a long time since I've played Madden.
Yeah,
certainly before they were suggesting plays.
No, that came pretty early.
So I think he was just exhausted, and it's like I can't believe we just won this game because that game was crazy. There's no reason they should have won that game. But after the fifth drop from Baltimore, I'm like, you can't win games.
Maybe it was like relief.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Like,
just like,
God, I didn't blow this again. Like I got nothing in the tank, but wow, like they made a play. There we go.
And it was the play I called. But
it wasn't.
Well, yes, it was. So that's I can't believe we're fucking talking about this.
Well, okay, Kenny made a modification to the formation he called. He sent Pickens on a fly.
No, he didn't. He didn't. I know there's Zapruder film where he's like he does this right.
I haven't dug into it. All I did, I heard. It was when I was watching McAfee yesterday. McAfee said that he played the audio, and I guess Pickens says Randy at the line,
And,
Yeah.
And McAfee was like, that probably means like Randy Moss, like Pickens go deep.
No.
And then he shifted the coverage, but that's all I know.
I've heard. So I've heard Randy means the shift the blockings. So
Randy
Kenny Pickett, Randy Bauman, the DVE morning show, 102.5.
Randy
meant
Snyder.
The one and the point meant George Pickens. No, apparently Kenny Pickett doesn't have the ability to change plays. That's what I've heard.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Me neither. He's a young guy.
He said he changed it, just so you know.
He said he changed the blocking
protection
scheme, the protection.
He changed the protection so that he would have time to throw a post to Pickens.
That's right, which was the route that was called. Gotcha. So he said Randy, they slid to the right, and Jaylen Warren went to the left. That's what happened, right? Like Jaylen Warren was on his right, and ball got snapped. He went to the left and picked up that blitz, and everyone else picked the person to the right because that's where knew he was throwing the ball. There was no safety over there. So he knew he was just going to run to the right a little and give him a minute, not a minute, a second to run that post and just throw it up. That's what happened. That's what I read happened. I don't know.
Okay, I mean shifting the coverage, whatever. Kenny made an adjustment.
He's able to do that. He has the ability, depending on the defense, to change protections, but not.
I wonder why he's having
routes.
Such a hard time. You think it's just a confidence thing?
I don't know, man. They're 3-2. Like, what's at some point it's like, look, the guy's
he looks bad.
How many games has he started in the NFL? 8?
16 now, I think.
Is it 16?
Yeah, because he came in week 3 or 4 of last year. I mean, they didn't do him any favors the way they brought him up through the system and put him in there with no first team practice reps. They just threw him into a game at halftime.
Right.
But I think now he's got a full season under his belt.
18. 17 starts.
There you go. So it's a full NFL season.
Yep. You're right.
He's struggling, dude. It's not unbelievable that he's struggling, but he's struggling. He's a young quarterback, and he's trying to figure it out. And I get that. I wonder why he's capable of looking very good, and it seems to me that the team is very hesitant to speed up his development at all. It seems like they're trying to keep things real simple for him.
I got you.
Seems like a bright kid. He's like the best. I watched him do an interview the other day. He's like the best dude in the world. He seems like such a good guy. I hope he figures it out. I'm rooting for him.
Say we're all pulling for QB1. Kenny Pickett.
For him. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's not out there trying to hurt nobody. So he changes the protection, and Canada's up there in the booth. He's not giving him nothing. Here you go. Your guy scores a touchdown. You're not going to even celebrate? What are you doing?
Just throw it to George. Let him throw it to George.
Put the George on every play. You know who the Steelers' second leading receiver is after Pickens?
Jaylen Warren.
Yeah. Dude, can we talk about him for a second?
It's free country.
It's free country. Talk about what you want.
Go ahead.
I love Jaylen Warren. And I find it very hard to believe that everyone doesn't love Jaylen Warren. He's such a fun player to watch. Undrafted free agent. That hurdle and spin move was like one of the coolest moves I've ever seen on an NFL game. That was
cool. That was a good run.
And it's not the first time he's hurdled. Like, he's done that before. He's
obviously
what
very
we always
good.
Talk about with talent evaluation. How does this guy slip through the cracks?
Yeah, I don't know. I think especially when it comes to running backs, it's like you can kind of just get lucky or unlucky. Yeah, right. Ooh. How fast is he? And how much does he weigh? That's pretty much it.
Oh no, that guy. Yeah, I know. Every time he gets the ball, he gets like 12 yards, but he's too small. So
yeah, doesn't have the prototypical body type of the NFL player.
He's not going to be a good running back, even though he gains a lot of yards on every play. It's not what we're built for.
They're not the type of yards.
We need
Not the
3 yards in a
types of
cloud of
yards.
dust. Like,
And I think
he's an
Najee's
exciting
good too,
player.
but it's just
Same.
the line sucks, man. It's just
Yeah.
every time Najee got the ball handed to him, it was like there was a Steelers offensive lineman right in his face because he was getting pushed back. That's what it felt like the
Not a good look.
entire.
Although,
man.
bright spot, Broderick Jones, I thought, I saw him on a couple plays. He had some nice, when they ran to his side, he had some, he looked like he was pretty agile. He was big but agile. I like that.
Those guys are unbelievable to watch. If
really
how big, if they were in front of you and just how quick they are for being so heavy.
Did I show you the pictures that I went to the Giants game and I was on the field?
We never talked about that.
Dude, they're
Bring 'em up.
monsters. These guys are so big in person and so like intimidating. It's pretty crazy.
Bring it up. Bring it up. I'm saving this I-79 exit guide. I think we take a tour up I-79 and check out one little town each time. Boom.
It's Tom Coughlin, son.
Is that right?
Yeah. Dan Kreider, son.
Antonio Brown's son?
Look at this beast.
Pete Davidson's son?
It's Pete Davidson. I was trying to figure out what these things were.
Aren't those the heat things?
Yeah, they're cooling.
Cooling?
Yeah.
I guess they don't need heat.
Dude, look at the coaches. Look at this guy. He's going to get into their asses.
Guys, got to keep running. Got to play to the whistle. Got to play to the whistle, guys. You say it every week. Say it every week. It's like, yeah, but dude, we're professional football players. We have terrible brains, and you need to keep reminding us.
Look at this.
The double. Why don't you? Why you stop at 2? Yeah. Why are not 3?
Dude, what you can't see is that this thing's on like a little tractor thing with 6 big fat rubber wheels that zooms up and down the sideline.
Yeah. I knew that. And when you think they carried it, those guys got off and like moved it themselves.
There's me.
We'll be in coach.
Look at Darren Waller's head tat. How fucking cool is that? It looks like high-end wallpaper. Look at him.
High-end wallpaper.
Doesn't he? Like fancy wallpaper.
Darren wallpaper. Wall and paper.
This motherfucker was huge. He wasn't actually a starter, but look at him.
Okay, so stop for a second. What about the guy and the coach that's walking from right to left in that shot?
Yeah.
What do you think his life story is? Because he doesn't have a headset on, right? So he's not a coach.
He's not in the loop.
He's not like the trainer. He's just not. There's guys like this all over NFL sidelines, and I don't understand.
Yeah, dude,
what they're doing.
I watched not one part of this game. My whole focus was the sideline dynamics, and it's so interesting. Like the players, the coaches, the staff. There was a cop that was like in plain clothes, but I knew he was a cop because every cop that was working that game came to the sideline and was like, "Hey, Jimmy," and you go, "Hey, Stevie, Bob, how's it going?" They all came and paid homage, and I was like, "This guy looks like a badass. I bet he's got a story to tell." He seemed very cool. Let's see what else was going on. Oh, this was by far the highlight. Graham Gano. So the entire game, he doesn't stop kicking. He did this all game long. Yes.
Like how long between?
Like 36.
For how much time max between kicks on the sideline?
Yeah, max.
Because the game's 3 hours long, right? So he didn't kick for 3 hours. Okay.
But he kind of did. He kind of did.
5 minutes. I get 5 minutes. That makes sense. Like he's kicking the ball every few minutes just to keep loose.
Just to keep loose.
Okay.
And he was the first guy out from halftime. Like the halftime show or whatever they were doing was still going on, and he's over on the side kicking. And you can see he's kind of looking at us. This idiot kid was like yelling at Graham Gano for, I don't know, 10 minutes to give him a ball. And Graham Gano's like, what? No, I'm not.
Dude, I need these. I need these balls.
And the kid was funny. He was like, but you've got so many of them right there. You're like, you're not going to miss one. It's my birthday. Come on, man. Give me a ball. And then at some point he like kind of walked a little closer and was like, this is my job. I'm at work right now. Leave me alone. Yeah. There he is again.
You're just, yeah.
And this is the long snapper.
Yep.
The man with the coolest story on any NFL team. And he kept spinning the ball in his hands like this and then kicking it back up to his hands. It's pretty entertaining to watch.
What? Yeah.
And there's Allison.
That's funny, man. How'd you get tickets on the sideline or tickets to the sideline?
So a guy that I met, that I worked with at Amazon in Seattle. Also, he's from out there, so he's a big Seahawks fan. He also moved to New York for Amazon and now lives like a mile from me. And he knew the Seahawks were in town in my birthday, so he bought 2 tickets and was like, come on, let's go.
That's cool. That's very cool.
It was very, very nice. And it was like by far the most fun I've ever had at an NFL game.
So you were physically on the field, or were you in the first row?
No, I was on the field. So they have this thing called the Coaches Club. So I showed a couple pictures that were like from the seats. So you walk in and it's like the home plate club. They've got food, but 20 times the size. Celebrity chef, players signing autographs, food, any food you can have, and it's all included in the ticket price. And then there's like some tables, and you walk out through the glass, and then there's like this little cutout right behind the bench that you can walk up and stand on the rail and watch the whole game, or you can go to your seats, which are, obviously the primo 50-yard line type seats. But it was, you can't really see what's happening from the field because you got to like look over these gigantic men and the benches and the coolers and all that stuff.
And all the adult men.
It was crazy. Like, so you're watching it on the scoreboard, basically. Same way the players watch it on the scoreboard. Yeah. And then you're watching it, and the dude will come like zooming right past you in your peripheral vision. And you're like, oh, he's right here. Like it's hard to tell where you are. I don't know. The thing that struck me the most was how fucking loud it is down there.
Really?
It is loud. Like when the fans cheer, you feel the adrenaline. Like it would be so cool to be a player and to do something. Like I see why these guys are the way that they are. Right. And I see why like home field advantage, as much as they say it doesn't bother, like it's gotta bother them. And then the Seahawks would do something great, and it was dead silence. And it felt so weird. It was like, oh, well, those guys are really excited, but no one here is excited. It's just such an odd thing. It's really like I was surprised at how big of an impact it made me feel. It's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. Good experience. If you ever get the chance to go to the Coaches Club at the Meadowlands.
I've been on the field.
Stadium too, man.
I was on the field for a 49ers game.
When was this?
Late 80s.
This was back in the Power Burst days?
Power Burst days. Yeah. We were in San Francisco. And my dad took my sister and I down on the field. And actually, I remember
Jerry Rice.
Tom, here's the one, like Roger Craig. I remember we were on the sideline. We were on the sideline during the game, and a play came to us, and I had to move out of the way. Like my dad like pulled me out of the way because Bill Romanowski was making a tackle on the sideline, and I remember him walking like from behind me back onto the field. Like that's how close it was. There were just fewer people on the field at that point too, right? Like there were still people around.
Coaches. How many coaches are on an NFL staff? You think it's
Well, that's the
50?
thing, man.
You think it's
Well, that's the
50?
thing, man. What's a coach these days? Like, who are you fucking coaching?
Position coaches. Okay.
No, I get it, but why does every position have a coach?
Usually,
and then there's a coordinator. So it's like
12 on
such
each
a.
NFL team. Yeah, I don't.
But then you get the
it
men.
It makes sense. Like you want the running backs to be focusing on their craft, so you need a running backs coach, you need a defensive backs coach. It's easier to break the team down into small parts.
Yeah, but I don't think they do defensive backs coach. I think they do safety coach and cornerback coach, and they do. I know that they do outside linebacker coaches and inside linebacker coaches. Like, God damn it, Kai, you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
I can tell
you how to be an outside linebacker, but when it comes to being an inside linebacker,
I'm lost.
Know nothing. I have no idea. What do you guys do? What is your main objective?
I mean, I know that the words are the same in the name of the position, but I swear, I have never understood or seen or know the first thing about inside linebacking.
Yeah. What is it? So you're inside of the other players? Is that you travel into their body, like in your space?
Yeah, inside what? It's kind of creepy. Those inside linebackers, I'll tell you what, I don't know what they do in there.
Bunch of creeps.
What are they doing in there?
12 is a lot lower than I thought it would be.
We didn't talk about what's going on in the world. Did you want to? It's up to you.
Today's.
Well, that's coaches, and again, there's a billion.
Do you think there will be anything that happens today?
I'm sure there's a lot happening.
No. I'm sorry. So, are you familiar with the Islamic jihadist call to action for today?
No.
So there is an Islamic jihadist call to action, basically saying if you are a believer in the jihad, today is the day to take to the streets, show your belief. It can be interpreted a number of ways, but I don't remember the exact words, but I remember my first reaction being, this is a call to violence, right? This is a coded message of violence. So like Allison's building for Amazon is shut down today. Every single New York City police officer is reporting for duty, which is a lot of cops. And I got a text yesterday actually from my sister-in-law, and she was saying that like she knows someone who's pretty well connected into this stuff and heard some bad things. So I don't know. I'm a little spooked, but I don't really. You never know how these things go, right? Usually it's much ado about nothing. Usually, but
yeah, right.
If there were going to be a attack on Jews, I would assume that New York would be the target, just based on the concentration and the number of Jews. But I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that, but that's also why it's probably it is, man. It's. I tend to think when stuff like that gets around, it's like, oh, it's a call to action today. That's never how it goes down, right? Like there was never like oh no, today's going to be the day we're going to do 9/11 today.
Correct. We're going to 9/11 today. No one's saying that.
That's not how it goes.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. You're in the camp of you think it'll probably come and go without any incident.
I definitely think there will be some people who are going to fucking cause some trouble, man, and maybe something does happen, right?
Yeah,
like people might get killed today.
Police. Right.
But they're not going to like take over the subway system or anything like that. I don't.
No, I don't think it'll be anything that dramatic. I could not imagine going into the city today though and putting myself in harm's way. So if it's enough to alter your routine or your plans, then it's something worth thinking about. But in general,
at some point, it's something worth thinking about. But at the same time, like, there's some level of self-preservation that we all just need to have, period. And I'm not saying that that's something, but like when the weather's bad, like you don't go out, you don't fucking drive, you don't do a road trip in a blizzard, right? Like you just, and this is one of those kinds of things. It's just part of life. But again, I don't think it's going to be a big coordinated attack, but I feel you, man. I wouldn't want to go into New York today either. Like there's just days that you just don't.
Exactly.
You don't live there.
To be gained.
There's no reason to like force the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's so fucked up. That whole it's so disturbing. Anytime there's an act of violence based on someone's creed, religion, race, like any of that shit it's always disturbing. But the scale and the scale of this one and the way it was carried out was just
where
different.
It was carried out, like the implications of the known implications is I just don't understand what Hamas, what their end game is. Really,
Right.
I think it just comes down to they hate the other side more than they love their side. It's consumed by hate.
They're making suicidal decisions. They've made the only suicidal decision that they need to make at this point. And that is just fucking weird, man. I can't imagine that's
what I think the most fascinating, and I don't know if it's even right to call this fascinating, but the most fascinating dynamic is this: as far as negotiations go, it doesn't get higher stakes than we have your people. And then Israel, okay, well, we're cutting off your food and energy. And we'll turn it back on as soon as the people get released. And then they're saying, if you bomb, we're going to execute somebody if you bomb without warning. The guy who went with Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, to Israel yesterday, I don't know his name or his title, but I remember his title, or the description was like that he's the preeminent negotiation expert in the United States. What an interesting position to be in. Like, where do you even start? Right? Like, it's crazy. Like, this is a crazy situation, and I don't know if it's unprecedented, but it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? You have a small nation state or territory of Gaza. That's the most densely populated place on earth. 2.2 million people in 16 square miles, with no military or systematic communication, and it's not as advanced as its direct neighbor, who has one of the most powerful militaries in the world.
You can cut it off. I mean, it's been cut off from the world, essentially, right? That's how isolated it really is.
But when you have such lopsided circumstances for the lesser developed area to become the aggressor and catch Mossad off guard, the chances of this happening are so small.
I think they're not as small as
they might be.
We all assume they'd be.
Crazy things happen all the time. So maybe it was just an inevitability that something was going to happen like this. Yeah.
You get complacent, right? You think, we're good. You show up to work, it's just another day. And that goes for anybody. And this is one of the worst parts of being I would imagine being in the military or being a first responder. You don't know what, like, you can, it might be a nice day outside and you show up to the firehouse and whatever. How's it going? You're having coffee, whatever, and then a fucking plane hits the World Trade Center, and now that's the last day of your life.
Permanently changed, right? Or
right. And this is one of those kinds of moments where you just, maybe there was just some complacency of like, I'm just showing up to work and going doing this, and then all of a sudden it's like get caught flat-footed, not necessarily unprepared, but flat-footed, right? And minutes mean everything in these situations, and that kind of feels like that's what happened. It's not like it was, and I feel like that can happen anywhere. That has happened in the United States, and it can happen here, and we've got borders. 2 of them are water, and 2 of them are like friendly allies. If it can happen here, it can definitely happen in a place where there's been conflict for 70 years.
Yeah. Now, do you think that Hamas made a miscalculation? Or do you think that this was an eyes wide open? We know that Gaza is going to be reduced to rubble as soon as we do this, and we're good with that. Because that will win support to our side, maybe, or sympathy. I know that's part of their strategy. They have this thing called the CNN strategy where they provoke an attack and then parade the attack around to say, look how unfairly we're being treated, which is like a PR thing, I guess. But still, like, I just don't understand what they thought was going to happen. And if this is what they thought was going to happen, why'd they do it? Like, if it's worth it to them to, we got 1,000 of yours, that's all that mattered. That's like, it's a whole new level of hate.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but that's the playbook, right? We've seen that happen over and over again, where these guys just don't care about their own lives.
Yeah, that's true. That is the playbook. It's a good point. It's just beyond comprehension.
It is. I can't imagine someone being like, dude, that people you really hate. What about if you killed yourself to kill some of them? Like, I don't hate them that much, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I like living. Living's kind of fun. I get to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's like I still get to go on vacations and stuff. But again, it's like that's us, right? We're not living in the conditions or
we're not living in Gaza
circumstances. Yeah, where it's like that.
It's a bad scenario, man. It was a bad scenario before this.
So how are you doing with it all?
Fine. I mean, I'm a little worried about anti-Semitism was already on the rise pretty significantly. And while there is public support for Israel right now, I have enough experience in life at this point to know what's coming, because it always does. It's going to flip. And I hope it doesn't, but it usually does. And it's already kind of happening, right? You're hearing more and more now about the support for, and I guess it's probably trying to be empathetic. It's support for Palestinians, not support for Hamas, and those are different things, and they need to be looked at differently. But I honestly just don't think we have the luxury anymore of trying to be that specific. It's
certainly, yeah. We meaning everybody, but like certainly Israel,
yeah,
right? They don't. It's like, look, what do you want to fucking want us to do? Like, what? That's the thing at this point. It's like
Jewish people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
It's just you can't keep understanding and being empathetic.
And again, it's even more so for Jewish people living in Israel. It just seems like that's just like, what do you?
Man. They're shaking up.
If you're not, that's even more sad.
It is.
You're just so desensitized.
Exactly. Like, and they're tough. They're all part of the military, and they all get it. They all know the situation they're living in. So to see them shaken up that's the thing that frightens me. Mm-hmm. That it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain the same way that I think it would probably be hard for me to ever really understand what slavery meant to a black person or anything else. Like, it's just, Israel needs to exist. There needs to be a homeland. I don't need to be there, in order to be a Jew or to support it, but it needs to be. It's just something that I believe is a fact. I guess that's a belief then.
Believe it to be true. No, I understand. You're right. Like, I understand why that's the position. But I don't feel it in the same way that you do, of course. But man,
you get it. You get it intellectually.
Hey, listen. Well, I mean, the other thing, it's like, look, I'm just some white guy living in Washington, D.C. But you are like my brother, so yeah, I fucking ride with you. That's what I care about. So I really, that's what it's kind of what it comes down to in some of these things.
It definitely does. I saw something last night that one of the news shows, it was actually really interesting. It was Cornel West and Alan Dershowitz debating. Both, valid points, but they showed during the course of the debate the cartoons that these kids are being indoctrinated with. It's bad, man. It's really bad.
Really?
Yeah. And then they showed the kids being interviewed afterwards, and they're like, I can't wait to run over a Jew with my car one day. What a great thing that was. It's like, come on, man. Like, How do you think this is going to end? Raising
Right.
kids to hate, like and then they use them as human shields. It's like, so the whole thing is, it's bad for everyone. There's no
Yeah.
side that's right. I support Israel. That's my choice. But it's not that I think that what they're doing is just, while it's justified, I don't think it's good for anyone. I think it's a necessary thing to do right now based on the circumstances, but it's bad. It's just bad.
It is bad. They're going to turn Gaza into a parking lot, and that is
already have, man. Have you seen the image? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I didn't realize. I mean, I knew it was small, but 16 square miles is the size of the.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think it's something like that. Maybe 20, but not very big. It really is the most densely populated place on Earth.
I think here's the thing that I did see that. Well, no, it's not true, but it's close. It's very close. There are places in like the Philippines that have people just people just sleep on top of one another. I did see that yesterday, which again is not funny, but for purposes of this discussion.
Yeah.
The thing that, so if you kind of scale back, and I'm not trying to obviously to minimize what happened at all. It's terrible. If you take what happened there last week and think about the broader global implications of what's going on in the world, it does feel like we are now closer to World War III than we have ever been. Because now the United States is, well, do we keep supporting Ukraine, or now do we go to Israel?
Right. Spread a little thin.
And they just released that $6 billion to Iran.
Yep.
And everyone's like, no, it had nothing to do with it. They didn't draw a single cent from that $6 billion.
Well,
like, yeah, because they fucking had the money sitting there waiting to send there, and now they're going to pull that $6 billion.
Right. Which they don't use for humanitarian reasons, because they use the rest of their money on military stuff.
Exactly. To fund Hamas. Yeah. And so now you have Iran in the play in the middle of all this. And so, and Russia is not going to stop, and Ukraine is now going to have to figure out things more on their own, and that's not going to work.
Right. And because the day before this happened, Biden was proposing the one and done payment for Ukraine. It was like a one-time payment of $6 billion or something like that. And that was it. So now that's at risk. And you have Zelensky, who's a Jew, visiting Israel. So he's there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Wow. It's smart. It's what I would do if I
and if you're China, you're like, listen, man, we want that. We want Taiwan. And if the United States is pulled into two separate conflicts, one just monetarily and the other one physically, let's do it. Like, they can't do everything. This is not going to be the last thing that goes on, and it ends with U.S. troops fighting at least one place. It just right. I mean,
it's impressive that we've gone as long as we have without U.S. troops being deployed.
It hasn't been that long, man. They had that 20-year war in Iraq and Afghanistan.
True.
They just pulled them out last year. Remember?
True.
2 years ago.
But I think that it's true. That
ended the longest war in U.S. history, 20 years.
And then immediately the Taliban regained control, so it was all worth it.
I know.
What a crazy.
I don't think that we're as good as we fucking think we are. We got these airplanes and shit, but like we're pretty good. But I don't know that we're
fucking good.
We're undefeatable.
Yeah. Well, clearly we just got defeated in Afghanistan pretty handily.
And so what's the difference between Afghanistan and Hamas, right? It wasn't Afghanistan, it was the Taliban. So what's the difference between Taliban and Hamas, or what's the one in the north, Hezbollah, any of these places?
Yeah. I mean, they all have the same charter. I don't know. I don't know. They do. It's the same game plan, which is so bizarre to me. Like, Iran's government's stated number one goal is to wipe Israel off the map. That's their first object. That's their first thing that they like. How is that the first thing you care about?
Really? I totally agree. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Like, really? Still? What are you upset about? Like Moses doing something to one of your like? Let's move on. It's been thousands of years.
I know. Yeah,
Let's
like
move
come
on.
on, you guys have cell phones now. Just fucking play some Flappy Bird and get
your
over it.
phone. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's what everyone
It's fun
needs to
shit
do.
on
Everyone in that part of the world just needs to fucking chill out.
Well, that's the problem. Gaza has 2G in some areas. Let's get them 5G and then see what happens. They'll be happy.
Get everyone a Netflix account and
an iPad
let's
and
just
5G.
see what happens. Let's try something different.
Yeah. There's a new Netflix show. Do you ever see the show The Haunting of Hill House, or Bly Manor was the first one? No. It's like this director, show creator uses these same actors and makes these shows that are so good. And there's a new one that just came out on Netflix. So they always come out like around Halloween every 5 years or so. And we just watched the first episode last night, and it seems pretty cool. Like really interesting. It's horror, but it's not, stupid horror. It's like really nuanced, contextual horror. I don't even know that it's not like scary. I mean, it's spooky, but it's not. It's like, whoa, what is going on here? You ever have a show like that?
What's happening on this? Whoa, I don't know if I like this.
This is wacky.
I don't know if I like this.
I tried to look up a picture of Power Burst, and nothing came up.
Yeah, it's pre-internet.
It's been memory.
Lost to the knolls of the internet. By the way, I like this I-79 tour that we're doing. We're doing this again. The first 10 minutes of every show, we are going to go and exit and talk about Rough Creek, Jefferson, and tour the towns, see what's going on at these places.
There's an article about Power Burst that I just found. Dueling drinks. Rivals go after number one Gatorade in sports beverage industry, from 1989 Los Angeles Times.
Is my dad quoted in that one?
I'm looking for that right now.
I know he is on a couple of them.
Yes, he is. Good chances. That's pretty cool, man. Richard D. Strayer. Gatorade has some minerals, but no vitamins. Good point. We have A, C, E, and B6, the same minerals, but we also have some that they don't, like magnesium, biotin. 1/4 the sodium and twice the potassium. That's an advantage.
Hold on. Well, that was the thing. So, let's see. The energy. I've got to pull it up here too.
Dude, this is great. Your dad's that's cool as hell, man.
What the hell's the chief financial officer doing giving interviews on
I was just going to say, why was he being interviewed about product? Well, because they probably didn't have, like they were a startup, right?
It was so the one thing I remember, the Power Burst didn't have any salt in it.
Right.
Which is it was just juice.
Yeah, well, Gatorade's just sugar. It's like the worst thing you can put in your body.
Gatorade's got some salt in it.
And that's
bad. The thing. I like my dad's quote. We're not really competing against anybody. Gatorade is the only company that I have any concern about, but this is a very strong category.
We're not competing against anybody except for Gatorade.
Yeah, that's right. Just that one fly-by-night company, Gatorade. Right. Listen, in the late 80s, there was it was different company than it is now.
Definitely.
It's a brand now. I mean, it's like people buy Gatorade branded shit.
Well, that was the late 80s. That was like a few years into Michael Jordan.
A couple.
6 years into his career, or 5 years into his career, 4 years into his career. So he may have. So yeah, but I think he signed with Gatorade early. So he was their pitch man, I think.
Oh, of course. But I have a picture. I don't have it. There's a picture at my parents' house of my dad when he played golf with Michael Jordan.
I mean, that's one of the coolest things in the world.
Michael Jordan sitting in a golf cart with a Power Burst cup in his hand.
Oh, that's in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
right? That's kind of a big deal.
It's a huge deal, especially for him, because did you hear the story? Did you hear him tell this? Michael Jordan tell the story about? Remember when for the Dream Team, for the medal ceremony, Jordan had the American flag draped over his shoulder? Do you have that as a memory?
No, I don't.
So he did that because the Reebok was the official sponsor of the Olympic team, and there was a Reebok logo on his warm-up coat. And so he draped the flag over his shoulder so that you couldn't see the Reebok logo.
Got it.
That's pretty cool.
Why not?
I mean, no one's ever draped a flag over their shoulder before. It was pretty cool that he did that.
It was the first time in history.
Yeah.
It was just him and like General Patton, I think.
Yeah, him and General Patton.
That was it. And Patton did it because it was he did it for a similar reason. Reebok made the uniforms for the Army.
Pretty clever.
How about that?
How about that, MJ? Always.
What a clever guy. Oh, Barkley did the same thing.
He looks like
You can't see a Reebok. You can't see a Reebok. It looks like he's just wearing it like a Roman toga.
Yeah, let's see. Can we see any Reebok logos here?
They all have them really, like those collars are splayed.
Yeah, that's a splayed collar, heavily splayed. Yeah, I'm not seeing a Reebok logo anywhere.
Uh-oh. Did we none of them? Zero of them. Zero.
Where do
he
you
played
think
in? It's not anywhere.
No, it says it's on the pants.
Oh. Okay. Could
that be it?
Maybe.
I bet you it says it underneath the splaying as well.
Maybe. But didn't the USA basketball jerseys have the champion logo? How do you get comfortable with that?
Yeah, they did. Good point.
Ha.
Great jersey. Like one of my all-time favorite uniforms.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Those would be cool shorts to have.
I have them. It's no surprise. And they are cool.
If there's something that is expensive and in short supply, Josh has it.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Oh, let's see. Reebok.
So that's a tag in the back.
Inside the jacket.
Yeah. Well, he had that one covered.
I'm sure he
wasn't too worried about that one. Uh-oh.
Good fetch, $3 million. Dude, I would wear this around every day with the flag draped over my shoulder. Olympiad. So fucking cool.
All right, man. We've hit almost the 2-hour mark. I think it's time to wrap it up.
All right, broski.
Yeah, man.
Stay
Good
safe
chatting.
out there.
You too. Later.